welcome to the fourth video in this series. I'm Felicia Danis with the Center for Online Evangelism, helping you to know how to put digital evangelism into practice. If you have not watched the first three videos, pause this one, go back, watch those three videos, and then come back to this one so that it all makes sense. COVID has completely changed the way we worship and we share the gospel. The gospel has not stopped in terms of, well, we can't share the gospel now because we have a pandemic going around. If there was ever a time where persons need to hear of the love of Jesus, if there was ever a time where we need to connect with people and to build relationships, now is that time. And so we have the tools and resources to make that possible. I want to encourage you also, we do have an online missionary course. This series has just been snippets of what we offer in the course. So if you want to go more in depth, if you want us to walk with you almost like step by step in these videos, it goes a little bit more into detail, showing you what you need to do, giving you assignments so that you can build your ministry. Make sure you visit us at learn.centerforonlineevangelism.org. I will post that link so you can get access, so you can find out more information about those courses. So let's go and continue ways that you can begin maybe starting an online ministry. Online small groups for evangelism. This is great. And basically what you want to do is maybe find an interest topic, and this goes back to what we talked about in entering wedge topics. Find a topic of interest, all of course based on your target audience. Promote your group online, or maybe it's you want to reach out to your family and friends first and have them join your group, or maybe you can use one of your social media platforms to promote it. Find a way to reach out to people, meet regularly. If it's once a week, or maybe twice a week, or maybe twice a month. Ideally, once a week is good. Sometimes twice a week, but you don't want it to be so spread out that people sort of begin to forget when the meeting is. Think about the goals that you want to achieve. So maybe you say, okay, well, I'm going to start an online small group and we'll meet for every week for 2 months. And at the end of 2 months, I would love for 3 people to sign up for Bible studies, or maybe 5 people to attend their local church. So think about the goals that you want to achieve, make it specific, place it before the Lord in prayer so that you can be a witness to what he is doing in your ministry. And then you can also use it as a way to bring people together physically. Maybe at the time of watching this video, hopefully COVID has sort of allowed us to gather more. But whenever that time does come, it could be a great way to meet up with people, maybe at church. So benefits of starting an online small group: it gives visitors a stepping stone before coming to church. You know, I think about, for me, if I were to meet some stranger and they invite me to their church, it would be highly unlikely that I would go. But if it's someone that I know from an online small group and I'm interacting with these individuals, maybe for a few weeks, maybe for a few months, I know them, I feel close to them, and then they have a meetup at their local church, there is a greater chance that I might either go to that church or do whatever meetup that they're doing. So this is a great stepping stone. It's also cost effective because you can meet online. You can get a free Zoom account, for example, if that's the platform that you choose to use. It gives you like 40 minutes on the free version. It gives church members an opportunity to serve. So maybe you have a young adult, you have a mom, you have a banker at your church. All of these people, based on their interests or topics, like the banker might know something about finance, I might want to start an online small group about finances, how you can build a budget and use a budget and giving financial tips and so forth. So you can look at the talents or the work of the people in your church and then train them to be online small group leaders. And it's a great way also to build relationships with visitors. So let's say you do have some people who tune into your online service. After they watch it, and you can invite them, hey, we have an online small group that meets on Sunday evenings. We talk about marriage, or we talk about dating, or we talk about Natural hair, for example, I gave that example in the previous videos. So just connecting with their needs so that, and it's a great way to form community to help your visitors as well. And some platforms that you can use. I mentioned Zoom, personally my favorite, possibly because it's the only one that I've used over the years. Microsoft Teams, Google Hangouts, Google Meet. There's Facebook. I know they have these rooms that you can join. So there are a variety of platforms that you can use to start your online small group. I'm going to show you a photo of an online small group I had in 2019. I was reading this book on singleness and dating in a godly way, and I remember going online and posting, hey, does anyone want to start reading this book every Friday, Sabbath evening? If you're interested, let me know. I'm opening 10 spots. I had over 30 people register, and I had to post up for like 1 or 2 days. As a result, we had about 10 people joining regularly, over 6 different countries. We met for 5 months, every Friday evening for 5 months. And then at the end of the year, we ended the last Friday of the year. We all met up at GYC, which is a youth conference for Adventist young people. All of us were not able to meet up, but a few of us were able to meet up. So I enjoyed this online small group. Anyone can start it as long as the Holy Spirit places it in your heart. You can start one today. Make sure you just have your goals and your target audience and so forth. Some topics for your online small group, as I mentioned, natural hair care, living life as a single, marriage, finances, victory over addictions, Sabbath, or maybe other biblical doctrines. You can do Bible studies. So there are so many things, so many topics: health, cooking, weight loss, fashion, technology. All of these are topics that you can build your online small group around, and then use that as an entering wedge to share the gospel. If you are a writer, you can also start a digital evangelism ministry. Maybe it's turning your devotional thoughts or your sermons, if you're a pastor or if you preach, into a blog. Use your social media account. This is a great idea. Use your social media account to get questions from people. Maybe posting a topic and then asking your audience, what questions do you have about this? And then choose some of those questions, write an article about it, and then share or promote that. Remember your target audience. Find topics that are relevant to them. You might want to write about your experience, but ask yourself, is this relevant to the people that I'm writing for? Are you sort of writing just for everybody? Young people, teenagers, older people? That might not work as well, because we all have different tastes based on our demographic in terms of reading. So remember to stick to your target audience and to write on topics that they will find interesting. If you're not yet ready to start your own blog and start your website, perhaps you can launch out as a contributor on an already established blog. So what I did because I knew I wanted to write, I went on this website, theprayingwoman.com. They have about 3 million followers, I believe, on social media. And they receive articles from guest authors. And so I would just send articles in, and I knew that the audience was much wider. The target audience here are young adult women, usually working women, or they might be young mothers, but mostly single women. So this, I knew, was my target audience and a great place to submit my blogs. And then, of course, it's promoted on Facebook. So if you are a blogger, if you like writing, or if you just find yourself writing down whatever the Lord is teaching you, you might want to launch out into starting a blog. Now, as we wind up this session or wind down, here are a few things that you want to avoid if you want to keep your ministry online. Copyright infringement. Be sure to use content that you have permission to use, and it is okay to invest in content, to get subscriptions where you can get videos, or whether it's audio or graphics. These creators put a lot of time and effort and energy into their work, and it is okay to pay them for that. I talk more about this in the online course. You can also find more information on scadata.org. That link will be at the end of the presentation. So make sure that you're finding information about that so your content does not get pulled online. Also, you want to avoid using bland content, your article, your video, or your podcast, whatever it is that you choose to create should be beautiful. The Bible talks about the beauty of holiness. And when we talk about Christ, it should be rich. It should be nourishing. When you sit down to eat food, and it looks good, but when you taste it, it's like it has no salt, it has no taste, it's sort of just bland. You would not want to eat that. Online content, when it comes to mission work in the online field, should not be like bland food. It should be really, really good. So make sure you're spending time with the Holy Spirit so that He can give you what you need to feed others online. And avoid scare tactics, clickbait. You don't want to do that. So here are a few things that you need as if you're ready to get started with your online ministry: prayer and the Holy Spirit. This sort of, you feel as if, this goes without saying, but I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for us to be spending more and more time in prayer and with the Holy Spirit to get strength. Number one, because online ministry has its fair share of challenges. But the other thing, as you are a content creator and you're putting out content out there about the Lord and about the Bible, you want to make sure that you're not feeding people poison. There's a story in 2 Kings chapter 4 where the prophet Elijah is making some soup. See, I should have made sure of that because that could be, I'm not sure if it was Elijah or Elisha, but it's in 2 Kings chapter 4, probably Elisha. They were making some soup and someone went and collected some wild gourds and put it into the soup and they started eating and they're like, oh man of God, there's death in the pot. Even though he had good intentions, he didn't want to kill anybody or poison anybody. He still made the mistake, a really grave mistake, in putting poisonous stuff in the soup. So we can have very good intentions. We could have really sincere hearts and wanting to tell people about Jesus and wanting to feed them the bread of life. But because we're not careful and we're not spending time with the Holy Spirit, we end up putting poisonous content online that becomes very hard to pull back. So ensure that you're spending time in prayer with the Holy Spirit. And then there are resources that you can use. Canva.com is a great platform that you can use if you want to create graphics for social media. They have so many different templates that you can use. Graphics and videos and Facebook posts or Instagram posts and stories and so forth, flyers, things that you can use online. So if you, I know one excuse or one reason that persons give for not wanting to get more involved in online is because they say, well, I don't have design skills. I wouldn't know how to design or what to do. Canva solves that problem for you. So visit their website. You can also go to Unsplash. So remember, I mentioned a little bit about copyright infringement. You don't want to just go on Google and download an image. They're making it harder to do that because they have the watermarks on it. But you don't want to just grab some photo online and use that in your content. You want to go to websites. You want to have the proper license to use these images, but Unsplash allows you to use these images for free, and sometimes they ask you to just give credit to the photographer. Envato Elements, this is a paid subscription. This is the one that I personally use. By the way, this video is by no means sponsored. I'm just giving recommendations for what I use. They have a huge library of videos and audio and graphics and templates for your website or for PowerPoint. It's almost like anything you think that you would need for creating online content, Envato Elements has it. And then, of course, for us at the Center for Online Evangelism, we do have content that you can download, that you can read. We have our online course where you would make literally a small investment to have access to that course. And your investment helps us do the work by providing more content for free that you can use. You also want to visit the NAD Social Media and Big Data Department, sdadata.org. Also learn from other missionaries and their experience. Ensure that you count the cost before you start your ministry. Do you have the time, energy, and the money? But this should not hinder you. As a matter of fact, this should sort of lead you toward God and say, Lord, you have impressed me to start an online ministry, but I don't seem to have the time or the energy or the money. Can you make the provision so that I could do this work that you've given me? Have you spoken to other missionaries to hear their experience, what they've gone through, what they've endured? That's a great way for you to sort of prepare and to know how to form your content. There are always great tips that they can give. And then, are you ready for pushback and attacks from the enemy? Once you are doing the Lord's work, whether it's online or in the traditional mission field, the enemy is not just going to sit back and let you destroy his kingdom. Either someone will say something mean or rude to you online, someone will try to attack you. Whatever it is that happens, make sure that you are taking it to the Lord, that you are allowing him to fight your battles. Be ready for it. Know that it is not personal. It's not a personal attack on you. This is more an attack on Christ, and Christ will stand up for you and get the counsel of other people. Sometimes it calls for you to ignore a comment and to leave it. Sometimes you might have to hide a comment. And sometimes the Holy Spirit will actually impress you to respond to that person. And that's happened to me several times before. So in regards to resources that we have available at the Center of Online at the Center of Online Evangelism, you can download our online missionary guide totally free. We do have the online missionary course, and we have digital evangelism for leaders. So feel free to contact us, send us an email, or you can visit our Facebook page, visit our website for more information. So I'm so glad that you were able to join us for this 4-part series. Stay tuned for more information.